Welcome to the Just Give Me the Mic show, and I am your host, Debra Coco. And if you do not know about Just Give Me the Mic, what we do here is highlight positive people doing positive things throughout our communities and worldwide. And we strive to bring you the best interview experience that there is. So again, I want to thank everyone for their support. And what I would like for you to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Relax and enjoy the show, everybody. Thank you again for your support.
And I am your host, Debra Coco. And as you can see behind me, or if you can't see, it is the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. All over the place, hip-hop was established formally, I would guess you would say, 50 years ago. And we're excited that this year there's going to be so many different events and tributes to the honorary legends of hip-hop and just hip-hop itself, which is the culture of the way we dress, the way we talk, our style, graffiti, all of those different elements that go into what we call hip-hop culture. And as you know, here in New York City, we have the Universal Hip Hop Museum. We have so many different organizations that are highlighting and preserving the essence of what hip-hop really is about. So today, I am happy to be joined by two friends of mine who are part of the legendary Fearless Four, you know, and I'm excited to talk to the mighty Mike C and the microphone wizard, DLB, is in the building. Yeah. So, you know, Mike, we always talk. We do TikToks. We do so many things. But DLB, I'm excited. I've never had a chance to sit down and talk with you about your background and history with the Fearless Four. So I welcome you both, and I'm happy to talk with you today. So, 50 years.
Yeah.
Do you believe, like, that much time has gone by and hip-hop is still here? It don't stop and it won't stop? Like,
It's a blessing, and it kind of it brings you up and brings you down, because you look at 50 like, all right, 50 years of hip-hop. Then you look at 50 like, damn, I've been here for 50 years of hip-hop?
50 years of hip-hop.
Then you start going, 50 years of hip-hop.
Right.
Oh, yeah. You start feeling that way, you know. I'm 59 years old now.
Oh, you was 9 when it started.
So when it started, I was 9 years old. I never tell people that I was in hip-hop when it started.
Okay.
I always tell people that I joined hip-hop when hip-hop was a baby. You know, so it started in 73. I didn't really start doing hip-hop till like 75, 76.
Okay.
Right before, because I remember right before the blackout that we had in 77, hip-hop was starting to pump, and we was hearing tapes of groups from the Bronx, and we were hearing, in Manhattan, we were hearing DJ Hollywood and Lovebug Starsky.
Wow.
And those were the things that kind of inspired me and inspired my crew on what we wanted to do as far as expressing ourselves, because that's what hip-hop is. It's a way of life and a way to express yourself. You gotta remember, before there was hip-hop, there was more dangerous. It was gangs and violence, because the city was closing down all the gyms and everything. We had nothing to do. So when you have nothing to do and you're in that type of environment where everybody's on top of each other, of course it's gonna be like that. Hip-hop was a savior. It came and it saved so many people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That without hip-hop, they would have been dead or would have been in jail. I know without hip-hop, I don't think I would be here.
Wow.
Because I was definitely about to head the wrong route until I heard that rhyme. And that's what took it for me, you know?
So it was like the climate at that time.
Exactly.
Like, DLB, you agree? Like, I mean, we kind of facing some of those issues now, right? When you think about it, you talk about what's the things for like children to do in the streets. It's like, what would you do? And like now, and we have those same issues, surprisingly today, but that was the climate. It was just like out living.
And it's the same trappings.
Right.
The same socioeconomic trappings that were there then still exist.
Right.
You know, even in some of the lyrics that we wrote for Problems of the World, you know, there's things that really at that time would have been considered prophetic.
Right.
In the verse, the things called computers that were thinking for a man, leaving one man on the button unemployed at 10.
Right.
Look at where we are now.
Right.
There used to be a time when you could drive across the Triborough Bridge. They're calling it the Robert F. Kennedy Bridge now.
Right.
But nonetheless, you drive across the Triborough Bridge and you had people who were either selling tokens or receiving the tokens for you to go across the bridge. Now it's all computerized and digitized. And all of those jobs that used to be there, they don't exist anymore.
That is something. I was just talking to a coworker yesterday. We were talking about, what is it, IA or AI?
AI, artificial intelligence.
And they're talking about how that is creeping up on us and how many people are going to lose jobs. I had a big discussion about that yesterday, but we'll get back to that a little later. But back to the climate, I remember, when I heard hip hop, I was probably about 10, somewhere around that time. But I grew up in the Bronx, so I grew up with KRS-One and listened to Kid Capri. Kid Capri comes from my area, Kevin Kev Rockwell, and a lot of those DJs. So I heard music. I didn't know what it was, but I know I loved it.
Right.
And then I started hearing music from Harlem, actually, right? Like Fearless 4, and then we're kind of like some of the first groups that I heard. Crash Crew was some of the first groups that I heard from going to park jams, you know?
Right.
And I didn't know exactly where people lived at, like the demographics, but later on, as you heard them more and more, you're like, oh, that's Harlem. It's like the separation,
You can
but
kind of feel it and hear it in
Right.
certain ways. You can feel it.
But so y'all all kind of met. How did the Fearless Four actually meet? Like, how did the group come about?
I'm gonna let DLB answer that.
Okay,
the reason
break
I
that
say
down
that
for
because
us.
I always tell people I was not a member of the Fearless Four when they first
Originally.
began. I wasn't.
Oh, it was the House Records,
no,
right?
No, before that, it was another
Before
guy.
that, okay.
When they had the Fearless Four, it was a guy named Mike Ski.
Ski, okay.
Right? This before we made any records.
Okay.
When I joined the Fearless Four, DLB had left the group, and I joined, and then DLB came back, and we became the Fearless Five.
So why did you leave?
Then Mike Ski left, and we became the Fearless Four
Mike
again.
Ski, I never heard about Mike Ski.
So
but why did
here's
you
the
leave?
story.
Here's the story.
Okay.
The original, or I should say the origins is that of the House Rockers crew.
House Rockers, okay.
Right. And that was founded by our DJ, Master OC.
Master OC, okay.
He had proteges with him, Bo D,
And Grand Supreme.
rest in peace, and Grand Supreme.
That's a pretty, okay.
All right. His MCs were Tito, Peso, and Mr. Troy, or Troy B,
Troy B. I
who
heard Troy
later,
B, right.
who left the House Rockers crew to become a member of the Disco Four.
Oh, okay. Connect
Now,
the
while
dots,
this
okay.
is happening, there's a local celebrity in our school already, Mike C,
You were, right?
who is the founder of the Family crew.
Wow.
And they had their records out. Mike C then decided to use his celebrity to extend and bring up some other artists, some lesser known artists, and in particular, one younger artist who was always in his face saying, listen to this rhyme, listen to this rhyme, check out this rhyme, check out this rhyme.
So this is high school.
No,
Junior high
this
school.
is
Junior high school. Oh,
school.
wow.
Junior high school 43.
Okay.
Right in the center of Manhattanville Projects. Formerly known as Adam Clayton Powell Middle School.
Okay.
Or junior high school, excuse me.
Okay.
Now it's known as the Urban Assembly Academy for Future Leaders, 286.
Nice.
But it's the same building.
Okay.
And we'll get back to that
Right.
at another time. But however, so Mike C put on
It was a talent
an
show.
audition. He was doing a talent show
In
at
junior
the Celebrity
high school,
Club.
you was
And I-
doing this? Okay.
And I did
Right.
an audition because see, the year before we had a talent show, and I got on with my friend Marky D. Marky D played the drums, and I got on the microphone. Now back then, nobody ever seen anybody do this.
One interjection. And Marky D, Mark Pendergrass,
Yes.
is Peso's
Peso's
cousin, first
Okay,
cousin.
okay.
Their mothers are sisters.
And
Okay.
he's also related to Teddy Pendergrass. His father is
Wow.
related to Teddy
Yes.
Pendergrass.
The legendary
Yeah,
Teddy. Okay.
So he played the drums, and I got on the microphone. Now you gotta remember, back then hip hop was still a baby.
Right.
So everybody was just loving beats. you know, and they never heard somebody get on the drums and play it right there live, and I'm on the microphone.
What
So
was you?
we
You
did-
was rapping
Yeah,
in
I
junior
did
high
my
school.
rhyming. Yeah, all
Okay.
that. You know, we did the intro. He was doing the drum roll, and I said, so Marky D, if you with me, tap, boom, in the crowd.
Right,
And this is an
right.
auditorium. They standing in chairs. They hanging in
Now,
windows.
I'm watching this
Uh-huh.
because I'm a
You're the
freshman.
right.
I'm a freshman at the school at this time.
Uh-huh.
I'm just getting there in 7th grade.
Wow.
And the big wow moment was when he cued Mark to play another song.
Yeah.
And the song that he played, for those of you in hip hop and know, Super Sperm.
Sperm.
He
He did that with the drums.
So
He did that
all,
with the drums.
and that was
They-
the first time
they-
I realized
they
that it was
lost it.
all
They was
rim
it.
shots.
Yeah.
I was
hitting on the
wondering,
rim.
what's that instrument?
Right.
And that's when I started learning more about instruments through hip hop now.
Wow.
And I was already playing guitar, but I learned then that, oh, those are rim shots.
Oh.
That's creating
Making
Super
that
Sperm.
sound. So he's
You
hitting
know?
on the rim of the drums.
Right.
He's playing.
Right.
And it came. That's how they made Super Sperm. So what I said. So in the intro, you know, as we doing the rhyme, we stopped and I said, so Mark, hit him with that super sperm, and he said, and they.
That's the first time.
And let me tell
Live,
you,
yeah.
that was the first time live.
Live, right.
Now I had did live before from going into parks and rocking.
Uh-huh.
But that was the first time live on the stage and seeing the crowd lose their mind like that. And that's when I said, this is it for me.
That's right.
This
Right.
is it
But
for
you was
me.
ready to leave school? That's like, this is what I'm doing forever, right?
And then when I saw the reaction, now I've always been
You was drawn to
a
that.
mere, I've always been a performer.
Okay.
And an artist of some sort.
Right.
Like, my dad was a fashion plate in Harlem. And he made sure that my brothers and I were as well.
Okay.
That being said, we're wearing the mod clothes. I'd put on one of my suits with the ascot that ties off to the side.
Okay.
And you couldn't
Okay.
tell me that I wasn't either Paul Williams or Eddie Kendrick
Right,
from the
right,
Temptations.
right. You going
And
to
I'm in the
school like
mirror.
this?
I'm in the mirror singing whatever song I'm gonna sing or
Right.
whatever else have you. But when I saw that hip hop was also an avenue for me, and I was already writing poetry and things of that nature, take my poetry and put it to syncopated rhythms.
Right.
And Mike's, oh yeah, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. So fast forward to as I was saying, Mike C actually discovered me because I was the young kid who was always up in his face saying, listen to this
You
rhyme,
was
listen
that
to this
kid?
rhyme,
Oh,
listen to this rhyme.
that's dope.
Right?
Okay, okay.
So when he was going to do the talent show at the famous Celebrity Club on 125th Street, he held an audition, a battle audition.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I spanked everybody.
Yeah.
Then
That's a great
also-
story. That's a great story.
Tito was in the audition too. Tito won too. So I had to pick two MCs.
Now this
The
is
two MCs
prior,
that-
yeah,
the two
prior to the
prior
group.
to the
This is the
Fearless Four.
beginnings
The
right
two
here.
MCs that I chose were DLB and Tito.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay.
And while I was there performing with Mike C, the founder of the House Rockers crew, Master OC, was there at the show at the Celebrity Club.
Look at that.
He liked what he heard me doing and invited me to his house for an audition to join the Fearless Four
Wow.
within that same weekend. So it was
Wow.
maybe the Celebrity Club was Friday.
Yeah.
I was in OC's house Sunday,
Doing it up.
doing it up and auditioning. And I'll never forget it because it was the same day that John Lennon was assassinated.
Big day in
So-
history, right.
Right. So I'm there. They bring me into the group. I'm the last member to join now the House Rockers crew featuring the Fearless Four.
Got it. Got it.
This
okay.
the door was open because Mr. Troy or Troy B, who ended up recording with the Disco 4, also on Enjoy Records, left the House Rockers crew to join his people up in Drew Hamilton Projects, which
Okay.
is, you know,
Sapphire Crew.
Sapphire Crew,
Sapphire
Disco,
Crew.
Disco
Another
4,
name I
Donald,
know.
Donald D, B Fat.
Right, right. Oh,
Right.
okay.
The original,
So they were
no
the
disrespect to
Sapphire
anybody
Crew.
else. No disrespect to anybody else, but the original Donald D.
Okay, the original Donald.
Okay.
Right, because there is, yeah.
Right.
No disrespect.
And God rest him. You know. But so yeah.
This is
I
interesting.
ended up coming into Troy B, a.k.a. Mr. Troy's spot, as the last member to join the Fearless Four.
This kind of takes us back to, you know, sometimes people, they be worried about, oh, like today, just reflecting on today. Artists, they want to go to auditions, but they're like, oh, like, what's the hell? You never know who's in the audience. Like, you just gave that story about them seeing you, discovering the group by you coming out, performing for one thing. You never know what opportunities can branch out.
Mike C
that.
was the first person to ever put me on stage.
Wow.
Before then, I was like the Rakim of the neighborhood.
You was?
I was the little.
Everybody knew
I was
you.
the little dude. No.
They did.
I was the little dude who they didn't want to let get on the mic.
Oh, wow. Why, they were scared?
Well, I think
the microphone
because
wizard. I mean,
Hey,
like,
whoop the microphone.
that
you
came
know,
later.
right.
I
But-
think your producer telling you
but
to
I'm a
wrap
little
up and
guy.
go to a commercial.
What, Mike? You're not supposed to say that.
Oh, well, you can say that.
No, I'm getting there, Mike.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Right. I'm getting ready to get. See, he knows too much. Mike, you in my shot. Like, let me stop. Look, we'll be right back, y'all. We're gonna go to a quick video. One of my favorite songs from the Fearless Four, "Rockin' It." It's like a kind of up, like not too long ago video, but check them out. Check out the song, and we'll be right back with the Mighty Mike C and the microphone wizard DLB with more of the story. Check out this video.
Rockin' it, yes, he is rockin' it. Tito's rockin' it, yes, he is rockin' it. Mike C, rockin' it, yes, he is rockin' it. Hey, so rockin' it, yes, he is rockin' it. We're all rockin' it, you should be rockin' it, rockin' it, rockin' it. Don't fight a fuss if you wanna rock with us. Our talents with us, so with us, leave your trust. Get to the show, train, cab, or bus, 'cause we're rockin' it, yes, we are rockin' it, rockin' it, rockin' it. Yeah. You know what, the people, we all back again. With a short shot win, but we're much more better than we were back then. Not that we were above, but yo, we get smart. As long as the return is of the Fearless Four. Featuring DLB, Tito, and Mike C, and Peso, and we won't SCOB. Cause he can tell you from the top that our crew won't stop. So let the bells jingle-ling and let the champagne pop. Oh, it's a celebration, sort of a dedication to all our fans throughout the nation. Who's sending in letters and dialing on a card, and for all the newcomers just getting on board. Wanna rock with us and turn the party high? Well, we wanna know what the feelings it's all about. Why don't you come along with us if you wanna scream and shout? And especially come if you had no doubt that we're rocking it, rocking it. Now, going one by one, individually we're bound to expand the fun. So give yourself on the launch of battles we blast off. We'll begin with the first and with the fourth as we're rocking it, y'all, rocking it. My skills will climb when I start to rhyme, and I'm always guaranteed to be on time. You're like me, you got good taste, just look in my mind face. Microphone with it is in the race, and I am in first place. In any way, I am the best, both south and east west. The LB's on top of all of the rest when I'm rocking it. Rockin' it, you know the rhymes are so bad when they come to me. I'll make your fans step forward and other rappers flee. Ask me about my skills and I reply top shelf. Ha ha ha. To tell the truth, I amaze myself. And how am I so good? Well, I really don't know, but I know that there's no other quite like Tito when I'm rockin' it, rockin' it. Well, I'm a $1 million boy and a $1 million man, and if you got it, I can get it with a wave of my hand. Got a voice so nice, never say rhymes twice. Never have to explain because I'm so possessive. If you ever wanna battle, you better prevent somebody might see president when I'm rocking it, rocking it. Well, let's get right down to the bottom of things. We here to get you on the floor with the music we bring. Smoke it out, shake, bake, and rattle and roll. Dance to the jazzy rhymes of the great so coming out like a winner from the starting gate. Ending up like a champ, you know so great. I may be last on the line, but I'm one of the best. our funky fresh. Rocking it, and we're rocking it. Rocking it, and you're rocking it. Rocking it.
Look this way. All right, we are back. That is one of my favorite songs, by the way. I think I done said this like 40 times to Mike. Every time I see him, every time I hear it, I'm like, that is my jam right there.
Rocking it. This was rocking the bell, rocking it.
Yes, rocking it. Yeah. Now, one thing I want to also talk about is the names, right? The names, the microphone wizard, you know, the devastated Tito. Like, how did these names come about? You know,
When I was writing the song "It's Magic," I wanted it to be the first fully thematic hip hop song.
okay.
And so I wanted everything to be connected to something magical or mysterious,
Right.
you know, something powerful,
Yes.
right? And you can't be powerful without your titles.
Right.
Now, for me, one of my favorite voices in hip hop, not just because he's sitting here, is Mike C. And his voice for me always had like a boom or a strength to it that I admired. My voice didn't have that. But thank God I had lyricals to back me up, right? So when I was going through introducing all of the group members and their powers, I dubbed him the mighty Mike C.
Right. I see like a big Thor type.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
That's why he did it. To
Right.
make it, you can see that.
Then also, Tito had this ability. Like we walk into a room, and like dude used to wear his hair back in the DA cut. I don't know if y'all know about that. He had the casals. He was always flavorful with his dress.
Right.
And Tito would walk in, and chicks would lose their brain.
Yeah.
He devastated women.
Right. Okay, so that fit.
Yeah,
okay.
we used to call him Gorgeous George.
Gorgeous
at one
George,
point.
yeah.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
like before I ever saw Jerome do it with Morris Day,
Right.
we'd be in the dressing room and I'd pull up a mirror and just put it in front of Tito.
For Tito?
So
Oh, my
yeah,
God.
yeah, he's
That's-
a handsome dude.
Well, hey, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know.
Pause. But anyhow, you know, then Peso, I always thought that Peso was one of the original graffiti artists.
Yes.
Right,
yes.
Peso 131.
Right.
His older brother, Kenny, was the MC.
Kenny, the photographer?
Yeah,
Yes.
Kenny Graham was the MC.
Kenny
wow.
Graham.
Peso's brother.
Well, he was the MC in the Graham family that I heard first.
Was in the
Okay.
family.
Right? Yeah, and was in the family. And when Peso did his full circle, you know, to now he's stopping and he's picking up the mic.
Right.
And still also Peso had a speech impediment.
Yes.
Yes.
But you don't know that
When
when he's rhyming.
Mm.
That's great.
Man, yeah. Yeah.
And then last but not least, I just had a way of putting, I'm a wordsmith, I'm a
Okay.
linguist. I've always I was a book nerd.
Like you
Call
said,
it
you
like it
did
is.
poetry. You did. So
Yeah.
you probably have like that thing for words, for
Right.
language, for, you know, linguistic type of, you know what I mean?
But I
Right.
also had a fairly decent singing voice and anything that had to do with a microphone, I was a part of that.
Okay.
So, but because I also come up with these formulas and putting things together, songs in general, the microphone
It
was.
just worked. Yes. That's how
we were all dubbed.
And
as
that's how
types.
we were dubbed for the song "It's Magic."
And we stuck with the type.
Because that was a major thing. I mean, I hear artist names now, but it's nothing like devastating. You know what I mean? Like the mighty. You know, it's like, okay, they're nice and everything, you know. But you got the baby, the little baby, the mighty baby. You know, it's like all these babies. Like, it's not really as creative as it was back then. It didn't really stand out as much as it did back
Hip-hop
then.
was more creative back then.
Yeah.
It was much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now you can get away with just, now your records sell because the music is pumping.
Right.
Regardless of what the MC is saying. Because
Right.
a lot of them,
I don't
I'm
even
not
know.
knocking them, but a lot
I'm
of them,
not
I don't know what
knocking
they're
it.
talking about.
Yeah.
But still, I don't knock them. I feel, hip hop is hip hop.
It's an expression,
They-
so
they express
everybody has their
themselves,
own way to
and
express
you express
themselves.
it the way you
Right.
express it. But at the same time, the way we did it is it was more, I guess I could say like even more a little complicated even more, because we wanted to be on point more.
Right.
And we wanted to make sure that our lyrics meant something.
Right. Like Problems of the World
Problems of
today.
the World,
You talked about what was actually going on in your
and
neighborhood.
we didn't
right.
write that. We didn't write that. DLB wrote every single word of Problems of the World.
It's like, this is what I
Every
see
word.
when I step outside. You
So
know,
he
this is
wrote-
my neighborhood. This is what I'm dealing with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
He wrote all of our vocals, everybody's parts. We each had 2 rhymes apiece. And DLB went home and wrote everybody's. I remember when we came to practice, he go, here's your rhyme, here's your rhyme, here's your rhyme.
Right.
Now this is how the format goes. And he read his rhyme.
Wow.
And I remember us going, you expect us to say it the way you said it?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So we read it, and it's not like it took us long.
Right.
Because I think we got it within another hour. So we each had our joints.
Right.
And
Because it also changed the landscape of how a verse was recited. Before we did Problems of the World, no one was doing the I'm living just to die without any feeling, so I'll wait here for my maker till it's time to go. Ask someone about the time slipping, can you spare a dime for asking where we'll iron it? I just don't know. They were rhyming,
It's like it's like a
It was
never-ending
one
rhyme,
behind-
right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just like
yeah,
going
yeah.
on and
Right.
on and on,
Yeah.
right? But now you gave, it's
So he
almost like
made
the
it-
ending
he
point for
made
the
it a
next
pattern.
person to come in.
He
Right.
made it a pattern.
Right.
Yeah.
to follow.
Okay.
I think that he was really one of the first MCs to write like that, to have patterns. Because if you listen to old hip hop records, everybody just said a rhyme.
Yeah, it just
say
it went
rhymes. It
long.
would go straight.
It's
And
almost
some
like I
records-
would like pass out because
some-
like you don't have a breaking
Right.
point in that,
Right,
right?
there
It's
was
just
no-
like
he
like
wasn't
for
even-
me if I was an artist,
They wasn't
like,
even counting bars back then. A lot
Right,
of
they
people
wasn't.
just do bars and just keep rhyming and on and on. So I mean, we did that before. We knew that, but
you
what
cared about
DLB
them. You
wanted
gave
to
them
do,
a chance to stop.
he
and
wanted
catch
to-
their
yeah.
breath, right?
he wanted to write something so it would stand out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You write a different pattern, different rhythm. It has to stand.
Because
out.
that ending piece is like da da da.
Yeah,
You
da,
know what I'm
da,
saying?
da,
It's
da.
like right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I got it. Oh, that's dope.
That's how that came about. Which is, and I always say this in every interview. I think DLB is one of the greatest writers that ever wrote a
Yeah.
rhyme.
Yes,
You
let's
know,
give him credit
Thank
for
you.
that because I'm definitely, we don't, us being, we're listening to the artists, we don't know those little nuances, right? It's like now it's good to sit back and really think about it because you could have, your style influenced another group and it just kept evolving, you
Right,
know?
right.
And you don't really know unless somebody else actually comes and gives you that credit. Like through you, I changed my style and started doing this until you hear that. So I'm saying 50 years of evolution, like when y'all came out, then you had the Q-Tip era, you had all these different artists that kind of branched off like tree leaves
Right,
from what
right.
y'all actually started. Like, how does that feel now? Like, did you have some moments where you're like, oh my gosh, like I can hear a little bit of me in that, or oh my God, I can't believe what he did with that. You know what I'm saying, or where he took that.
That happens a lot, and I always take it as compliments. A lot of MCs will go back in the days. If it went like that, somebody go, yo, he biting our style.
Right,
He
right.
biting us. Now, years later, when somebody bites your style,
You're
it's
like,
a
thank
compliment.
you. Right, you're like, thank you,
Thank
right?
you for doing
yeah.
that. It's a compliment.
Shows
It's an
homage.
homage.
Yes.
Yes, and keep doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just props to us, and
So what
it's
is
great
your
to get your flowers.
No,
Get
of
the
course,
flowers.
especially now today,
You can
because
smell 'em.
you have some people that don't even give that recognition.
Right,
They don't
right.
even want to acknowledge artists that either came before them or who influenced them. So for those who do that's a great thing. I mean, you understand the history of music and you appreciate those before you that open the doors for you. So that is a great thing. But if you just had to pick like one lesson from being in the group, from all some of the things that you experienced, like what was like probably like the hardest thing for you to learn within your career coming up through the group?
D?
Because you kind of branched off, you did music, but then you went into education, stuff like that I want to talk about too. But is there something
Theater
that,
and education.
theater and education,
Yes.
but what is something that like you really learned that maybe an artist today can benefit from that lesson?
Rather than one thing, one statement.
Okay.
Learn your business, hone your craft, be tenacious.
Right. Right.
Learn your business. Hone your craft.
Number one.
Be tenacious.
Yes, that's true.
Because if you're not doing this because you love it, it'll leave you before you get a chance to leave it.
Right.
Right, because some people this industry's not loyal at all,
At
right?
all.
No, it's not
Not
loyal.
at all, right?
It's not loyal. It's basically a penny. Like people, it's more about what I can get from that person. How much money I can get from this one, how much money I can get from that one, which makes it disloyal in a whole lot of ways.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Think about hip hop, especially being this 50th anniversary. I can honestly say that hip hop is a part of my life. It's been a part of anybody that I know. As far as being part of my life, hip hop is a part. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
That is true.
My kids and everything is hip hop. You know, and think about it. Before there was hip hop, what was there? You know what I'm saying? I remember back in the days before there was FM radio, when we were listening to AM radio and you were hearing songs like The Cat's in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon.
Right,
You grooving to that, but you can't wait for a Temptation record or something to come on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So everything just evolves and makes it bigger. And hip hop is blowing up to the fact, and we can look at it and go, hey, we're a part of this. Years later, we could tell our grandkids we was a part of that.
But it's a
Yeah,
part, you know,
'cause
even if you
if I
wasn't
may-
an artist, you're a part of hip hop.
Right?
Even like me on the outside, like I never wrote well, I did, you know. But I'm saying I've never been public like an entertainer, but I still walk around and feel like I breathe and eat hip hop as well.
Because
And I'm
it's
not even-
more than just a form of music.
right.
Hip hop is a culture.
The way I dress,
It
the
was
way I
once
talk,
a
everything.
subculture.
Right.
Right.
It is now a full-blown culture. So, you know,
Internationally.
the ideologies,
Right.
right? The way one carries him or herself, the way one dresses, the way one speaks. You know, hip hop has had very numerous folds upon dialect as well,
Right.
right?
That's true.
So I remember we used to say, "You're right, sure you're right, facts, super facts."
Right,
and,
right.
You know,
I still use that.
It goes on and on and
Right.
on. You know, so you don't ever have to be someone who's picked up a mic to be
Like
hip
myself,
hop,
right.
or laid out some linoleum and bust a breakdance move to be hip hop,
Right.
right?
Right.
Or have a spray can and tag wall with your graffiti to be hip hop.
Right. That is
But
so
if you
true.
adhere to that, if it speaks to you, if it touches you, you're hip hop.
You're hip hop. It's in all of
Exactly.
us. It's
Exactly.
actually it's like the granddaddy. It's in all of us.
And you can't, and you don't, and no matter how old you get, it's gonna always be a part of you. I always tell people, you don't stop rocking because you get old.
No.
You get old because you stop rocking.
Right. And
You
I'm
understand?
still rocking. I'm
You-
gonna
so
keep
you
on
go- you
rocking.
gotta keep rocking.
Right. I'm
You
gonna
gotta
keep
keep
rocking.
rocking.
I don't care until I can't walk no more.
Exactly.
Wrote a
But
song about it. Want to hear it? Here it goes.
Right, but here you go. But one other thing that we talked about a little bit off camera, like a lot of times you didn't know about the money. You didn't even know where hip hop was going at that time. When you just know it's something you wanted to do. You wanted to perform and entertain. You wanted to write and you wanted to perform, obviously, because you was letting Mike know all the time. That's what you wanted to do.
Right.
So my thing is, it wasn't the money, you know. I know a lot of artists that I spoke to back in the day, they said it was for the girls. You know, a lot of males said
That's why
it was
that's
to get
why I
popular with
started.
the ladies, you
It was
know.
for the girls. That's why I started.
So it was like the fame and the recognition.
To my wife and children who will be watching this,
Right?
that was a long
Long
time ago.
But a lot, some guys they got popular because of sports, or they could play basketball, whatever. But a lot of males grew up and they had swarms of ladies. And then some guys will come out the concerts and be like, oh, that's how you do it? Well, I want to be an artist too.
And go home and start writing rhymes.
Right, go home
That's
and
how
start
I did
writing
it.
rhymes.
The first person that made me want to write rhymes was a guy named Jimmy West.
Uh-huh.
And we were in 43, and me and Jimmy West hanging out, and he said, watch this. And he started saying these rhymes, and all the girls that were sitting at that table came and sat at that table just to hear Jimmy West. And the next day it was like, say them rhymes again, Jimmy. And he's saying the same rhymes. And I'm
And
like,
you
so
like,
this is how
what?
you do it?
Right.
And I went home and wrote my rhymes.
Right away, right? Came back the next day, like.
Basically, my rhymes were like Hollywood's rhymes, just with my name. You know, but
I'm
just-
the Mighty Mike
just-
C
just-
and the place to be,
right?
Mighty Mike C, right?
And I wasn't Mike C.
Oh,
I
you
was MC Shoe.
MC.
MC Shoe. I didn't change my name to Mike C till like maybe 3 years before, maybe a year or two before I got with the Fearless Four. I was
Okay.
MC Shoe, and Peso's brother Kenny Graham said, "Yo, why are you calling yourself Shoe?
Well, how did you get
just-
that name though?
Why don't you just be Mike C?
Right, your name.
Your name is Mike. Your last name is Clee. Be Mike C."
Right.
I said,
Because he used to go by Kenny G.
yeah, if you put your you put your initial
Yeah.
behind DLB is his first two names starts with a D and an L, and then he
Right.
threw B for his last name. Everybody would put their initial behind their name. Tito was TD, Tito D at one point.
Tito D.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
TD, everybody
Right.
would do it like that. So put my name back right there. So I left MC Shoe and became Mike C.
I'm glad you did, Mike.
And
I like the.
And
like
also,
the
I got to
Mike
give
C.
it up in honor of the 50th.
Yes.
Yes, I am DLB, and it's based on my initials of my government name. However, I got the idea from the first MC, but DJ, who I ever heard tell a story rhyme.
Okay.
And he now goes by the name of Grand Mixer DXT.
Oh, I was just talking
So,
about him not too long ago.
When
okay.
I heard, I said, wait a minute, I don't have to be this one, that, or so, I don't have to use my first name and then put
B.
Okay, bet. I'll do just my initials.
Right.
Because it fit.
Right.
It
Yes.
fit.
DLB. There
So,
you
yeah.
go. I mean, I cannot believe that I don't have too much more time. Like, I feel like we just started talking.
Yeah.
We
It
did.
went by so quick. Now, fast forward into today, like you're an educator, you work in the
Yes.
education system.
Yes.
And you made that transition from music. Like, is it a balance for you now? Like, are you still performing and doing things, or are you mainly doing education at this time?
No. It is a balance.
Okay.
I'm still performing. I'm still writing. I actually, just the other day, by the way, people, I am the assistant principal now at the very same school in which the Fearless Four
Oh,
met.
that's awesome. You
So,
went back home
yes,
with that.
I came back home and brought my education with me. And I'm using that to even challenge my kids, I have a thing where I want them to do verses without curses.
Challenge yourself to do that. Do some clean music.
Rise to a higher level. Because we all can take the easy route and just throw out profanity-laced lyrics, but, why take the easy route? Put your mind to work.
Right.
And I do that by spitting a verse at them that has no curses in them.
Right.
And
let them
watch
see
them
you
go
can
crazy.
still be powerful with
and
it.
watch them
right.
go crazy afterwards. When I drop the mic, they lose their mind.
And we need that. We
You
need
know.
theater and arts. We need to keep those programs going. Those are always sometimes the first programs to be cut in school.
Right.
If they have to make decision between core classes, but you really need after-school programs,
Exactly.
arts, music, theater.
And
you
I was
have
a
to have
theater
way to
director for
express
the
yourself.
schools
Right.
before and lost my theater program in Georgia,
Okay.
which prompted me to come back to New York, where I now serve as assistant principal.
Look at that.
But
That's awesome.
I would have stayed with the arts.
Yeah.
Forever.
You need it. We need that arts. And this one here, just TikToking and making all kind of funny videos, Cold Coffee Crew,
And I do that, and you're a part of it.
I am.
For
That's why I
those
had
who
to
don't,
mention that.
if you see my Martin videos that we do, Coco plays Pam.
Yes, and I
And
love
she
Pam.
does it well.
Thank you.
And we're going to shoot some new ones soon, so y'all be ready for that. Coco is the greatest. She's my
No,
sister.
but you have the Cold Coffee Crew, which is nice. It's
Yeah,
actually
thank
a group on Facebook that you
Right,
can join.
right. And
People
it's-
express all kind of different things in that
yeah,
group.
it's just a group to stimulate conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because we get to choose what we post in the Cold Coffee Crew. I don't let everything go through.
Right.
You can't let everything go through. And I just want to stimulate conversation. It's good to get people together on one page to
Grown
talk
talk,
about certain
fun.
things. It's called, it's grown talk. And a lot of groups don't do that. A lot of groups people just come in and just basically sign in.
Right.
Put a picture and then leave out. I
Right.
like to stimulate conversation. So we always have a question to talk about in the morning. Then later on somebody will say something and all that. At one point, we had a question every day. I know you should remember.
Yes.
Three times a day, in the morning,
Right.
in the afternoon, and at about 3 o'clock, we had a
Right.
question. And those questions used to get like 700 comments and stuff like that on the Mike C. Wayne Sepp question of the day. We became the Cold Coffee Crew, and the Cold Coffee Crew started in 2010.
Right. that
Here we
long
are,
ago.
2023.
13 years with
And
that.
the Cold Coffee Crew is still pushing live.
They
Still
owe you a
going.
check or something. I
You
don't know.
know,
That's a
and
long
Facebook
time to
ain't
have
giving me
a
a
group.
dime yet.
They need to give you something for that. But I just wanted to say, I see how you kind of elevated, right? It's like, okay, you went from the stage and the music, but you still
I'm still
being
doing.
creative.
I'm gonna always be an entertainer. I'm gonna always perform. I'm still on stage. I still perform all over the world.
Yeah,
whether
we
with
have
the
an
Fearless
event
Four,
coming up soon.
with Kumo D,
Yeah.
with Kaz. I'm always
Yes.
performing on a microphone.
You travel a lot.
I travel all the time. I'm all over
Right.
the world. I'm an actor. I love acting, but mainly, besides MCing, I love comedy.
You do.
I'm such a comedian. I love jokes. Trust me. Give me a minute.
That
I'll
he
make you
is.
laugh.
Right.
I love comedy. I can watch comedy for days without watching drama. I love something that'll make me laugh. Comedy is to put a smile on your
It
face.
does. It's good medicine. It's good medicine.
And I know this for a fact. If I wake up and something makes me laugh early in the morning, my whole day is good.
Right.
My whole day is good. But
It-
if something
it
pisses
sets
me
the
off in the
tone.
morning, my whole day is whack. So I need something to make me laugh early. From the
All
door.
right, so we need to go out with this segment. I want to thank both of my guests for joining me and sharing their stories and experiences with me today.
Yes.
Let's go back to the theme, the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
All right.
One word, not one word, but give me a closing statement for the 50th year.
The 50th year of hip hop is the greatest because we'll never get to see 50 years of hip hop again. At least I don't think I'm
Right.
not gonna see it unless I'm seeing it from up there somewhere. But when you get to 50 of anything, it's big. And I just want to say to all the MCs out there that celebrating with us, enjoy yourself. And listen, this is our anniversary. I'm not knocking anybody.
Right.
But if you just getting into hip hop, you can't really claim the 50th anniversary of hip hop if you started last week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to be in it and
Just
feel
clap
it.
for us. Clap for everybody that's a
to
part
everybody
of it.
that's
Right.
a part of hip hop, yes,
Yes.
I'm down with you. But this is our anniversary. We're going to celebrate it to the best we can. And before I leave, I always tell everybody, take your left hand, put it on your right shoulder, take your right hand, put it on your left shoulder, and give yourself a big hug from me.
Yes.
All right? Peace, hip hop. 50.
And DLB?
For the 50th, celebrate the 50th anniversary of hip hop by being true to who you are. Because anyone born between 1973 up until now, you are born a child of
Born
hip
a
hop.
child of hip hop.
So celebrate it being you, expressing who you truly are at the essence, the core of yourself. And do it in a positive light
Right.
so that we can elevate the culture
Right.
as opposed to degrade the culture. You know? So, yeah, and I'd like to just thank everybody who has taken the culture and elevated it. LL Cool J, I love you. Common,
Yes, sir.
I love your work. I don't know you personally. LL is a personal thing, and he's the artist. But for all of the MCs, Queen Latifah, who has taken
Kumo D.
hip hop, Kumo D, of course. I'm sorry.
Grandmaster
Grandmaster
I
Caz.
can't-
Taking it and moving it. I'm sorry about that, sister.
No.
And taking it and took hip hop and caused an elevation. Rakim says elevation caused an expansion.
Right. It does.
The more hip hop elevates, the more we expand.
Right.
Right? So thanks to everybody who caused the expansion.
50th anniversary, y'all. And on that note, we're going to throw in a throwback from the Fearless Four, Problems of the World Today. And we'll be right back with our next guest. Don't go nowhere.
Pay attention to those lyrics now.
Right.
See what's up next time.
Oh, these problems again. I got a headache. I'm living just to die without any feeling, so I wait here for my maker till it's time to go. Ask someone about the time is slipping. Can you spare a dime for asking where will I earn it? I just don't know. I need someone to talk to try to ease some pressure off my mind, cause times are rough nowadays. Got a high school diploma and I'm very ambitious, so why, oh why do I live this way? These things called computers does the thinking for a man, leaving one man on the buttons while unemployed again. Should have trained with computers in some college course, so when I play the game of life, just maybe I'd win with problems, education, unemployment, and got too many problems of the world today. I know why you look puzzled. I was shocked myself. I didn't know I had an uncle until Friday. I was really glad I met him, but placed his mommy bet him, brought them both the ugly faces, so they went in the back. Thought it was kind of crazy, but I know as a fact that there's no way in the world I kiss my sister like that. What do you mean she has no brother? I saw her myself, and we can look.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I know crazy, necklace right, a lot of gold like the 80s. I know crazy, tell the radio they gotta, hey, come correct or don't come. I'm fire, can't expire, I'm City and Joe's son. I focus on hits and you focus on one. Drip that fits, my competition won't be done. They try to throw me in a box, but I'm 6'2". I know what these hits do, you trash it, ain't never gonna pick you. This flow got me blessed like a hot chew. Wanna be the best, but that's not you. Break bread, cause my nigga get a hot too. I know crazy, necklace right, a lot of gold like the 80s. I know crazy, tell the radio they gotta, I'm a legend, I need Will Crown. Don't let your label rob you, I can break a deal down. Used to be a dream, now it's all real now. Used to be my Air Max, but it's 4 wheels now. Back then, politicking with thugs. I was trafficking drugs, but I changed now. I focus on exchanging the love. She said, I know crazy. They was trying to tell me that I would fail because I was lazy. I know crazy, necklace right, a lot of gold like the 80s. I know crazy. Tell the radio they gotta play me the new LL. I'm just a little more deep fried. I woke home when you comfortable on the sleep side. Hennessy, a lot of weed, that's how we ride. Hydroplated through the game, watch a G slide. I'm a legend. On top of that, I'm living, always spitting killer reds. Tom Clancy, every mission set the bar for greats. Apologize for late. I eat beats, I love the stems on the side of the plate. I sound cocky. Not even the deaf can stop me. Can't go toe to toe if your feet are sloppy. I'm a champ, make my peace with Rocky. I'm a champ, make my peace with Rocky. Can't stop me. I know crazy, necklace right, a lot of gold like the 80s. I know crazy, tell the radio they gotta play me. I know crazy, necklace right, a lot of gold like the 80s. Hold up, I know crazy, tell the radio they gotta play me. Hey, everybody put them hands up. Everybody put them hands up. Hey, when I say jingling, y'all say baby jingling, jingling. When I say jingling, y'all say baby jingling, jingling. Yeah. That record right there is called Jingling. GM. I go by the name of GM. Better know it's 2LetterKing. New York. Jersey. This next song right here is called Want It All. It's my latest single. Just vibe with me, vibe with me. New York, vibe with me. Jersey, vibe with me. Tri-state area, vibe with me. Hey, 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 left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Left.
You still ain't did shit about the other one.
We want it all. Cause I want the baddies and I want the bottles and I want the bitches, I know that for sure. Want it all. Cause we want it all. Cause I want the baddies and I want the bottles and I want the bitches, I know that for sure. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. She call me daddy, big body mommy and caddy. I smile, she making me happy, plus she got a fatty, and I wanna touch it when we out in public. I'm touching her soul, I'm twisting her stomach, plus she love money like me. She don't do raps with me, I get her feeling like cleaning the G. She love me working and not get to see. She get to twerking and not get to see. Moving her body and touching my meat, breaking it down, I'm breaking it down. Give me my crown, I'm taking it now. I'm write it all down, I'm tricking the fakes and dodging the jakes. I'm hungry as hell and I don't got a plate. Cause I want the baddies and I want the bottles and I want the bitches, I know that for sure. Want it all. Cause we want it all. Cause I want the baddies and I want the bottles and I want the bitches, I know that for sure. Hey, 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 let's go. We want it all, don't you be scared now. I'm in my zone, I'm holding my throne. This shit is not fair now, and I got a bunch of them haters, so let's keep it playing. My crib in the ghetto, I still keep a pager. I'm shaking the stage, I feel like a taser. My crew in the majors, up in the score, they shutting the board. Pray to my Lord, cause I'm getting bored. Beat all these levels, I need a new board. Breaking my silence, I speak at the door. These verses ain't cheap, so can you afford? Panties is dropping and hitting the floor. Take off my shirt, she yelling for more. Shorty a mess, just want the sex, they want it all. Cause I want the baddies and I want the bottles and I want the binges, I know that for sure. Want it all. Cause we want it all. Cause I want the baddies and I want the bottles and I want the binges, I know that for sure. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man. Shout out Coco, man. Be in the building. Follow me at 2LetterKing, number 2LetterKing. That's one word. GM. I go by the name of GM. It stands for God Made. Feel me? I'm here. But follow me. 2LetterKing.
His thing just now on stage, and I want to thank you for coming and joining me today on the show.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
I know we have like a little small segment, which I'm like, we're gonna make up for that at another time. But tell the people who you are. Give us a little background on your music. You know.
So I go by the name of GM, aka 2LetterKing. Most people know me as. I used to be God Made. I'm from Jersey, but I live in New York. Shout out Newburgh, New York. You know, that's like a home. That's like my home now.
Okay.
Been there for a couple years.
Shout out to Newburgh.
But yeah, I've really just been working. I've been working for so long that, like, you know, people are just now starting to catch on, and I've been doing this for like 10 plus years. So like, you know, for me to be able to be here and be on the show and, you know, be able to do the things I'm doing, it's a blessing. I gotta give everything to God. I always give everything to God. Of
course.
But I'm here now, so.
Yes. Doing some big things.
Yeah.
Like, I follow your social media, your Instagram. I see you always in the studio. Like, I'm seeing other interviews that you're doing with people. You got shows coming up. So this is starting off to be a good year for you.
Yeah, very, very strong year. I'm booked until like June, July. It's
okay.
The first time I've ever been booked in advance like this. I'm, you know, last night we was in the studio late. I'm like, oh, I gotta get up at 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. I almost overslept my alarm. I was like, nah, I gotta get up. Came here,
That's
you
the
know.
game. You
yeah,
gotta,
man.
yeah.
Like, and you know what's funny? Like, coming here, that's how I know I'm having fun. Cause coming here, it was like, in my head, I'm like, yo, this is what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my life. Like, this is what I wanted to do. Like, and then like that inner child is like, yeah, like, you know, but then like, you know, I'm tired at the same time, so I'm like, but I'm happy at the same time. So it's like, it's kind of like a, you know.
Yeah, you gotta balance that whole thing out, right?
But
you don't get tired when you're doing what you love.
No, I
though.
don't.
Not really.
I
That
don't.
adrenaline. I don't care if you had 2 hours sleep.
Yeah.
It's like, what? I'm performing for who?
Boom.
I'm there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
like,
Right. You ain't even
yeah.
thinking about that no more.
Yeah, man, yeah. And then I come in here and it's like, I didn't expect, you know, what I was seeing, and I was like, oh yeah, this is real deal. Like, you ready? Like, I be having to ask myself every day, like, yo, you gotta be like, and I think that's the thing that most artists gotta do. That's a part of manifestation.
Right.
Is thinking about it, envisioning it, and preparing yourself mentally for it every single day. Like, every day you are getting ready for that, you know, because you know it's coming.
Right.
Like, and that's how I think every day. Like, it plays so many parts it plays so many different parts of my life, especially with my children. Because like, I'm always telling them, you know, daddy is, one day he's gonna be, you know, everywhere. And you know, you're gonna have to, some days, you know, you're not gonna see daddy some days, but I promise you it'll be worth it. Like, it'll be worth it in the end. And you know, during the time, like, I would you know, I always tell everybody that's close to me, I'm just trying to get them mentally prepared for what's going to come, because I know it's coming.
You know it. You know it's coming.
And it's hard to explain it to people. So like, you know,
you feel it.
Yeah.
You already know what's gonna go down, and I like the way that you're mentally. I think also like you're in the moment, like you're explaining this how you're feeling to everybody else, and everybody's going through this journey with you, you know, and supporting you. And I like that. I saw an interview or something on your page where you said that you felt it was good to share who you are yourself with the public and the people that support you. And I think that is good, to be transparent. People, they love the music, but when they get to know the artist behind the music, it's even better.
They're able to, you know, it's like they're able, it's like they know you in a way. Like when they can get to know who you are outside of this, like when people learn who Rome is, and you know who, instead of GM, because like yeah, I'm GM, like you know I'm on camera and everything, but once you start listening to my music, you can hear that this is more than just music. It's deeper than that. It's like, and then they catch on to it, they start grasping to it, and they start, because like when I'm listening to an artist and I know like personal things that I can say, and you know, like let's say me and you would sit down and tell, I'll be like, yo, you know, so and so used to do this and this and this and that. It's easier to connect with their music and understand, like, you know, build that kind of bridge to where you start feeling the music on a different level, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, it's like I relate to you.
Yeah,
like me and
like,
you was going through this together.
It's like I know you. Like,
right,
yeah,
right.
like, yeah.
We share something.
Exactly,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
That's definitely a great technique. But since you did Jingling Baby, what motivated you to do that track, like a remake of that track? Since we're talking about the 50th year of hip hop.
So shout out to my Uncle Boogie.
Okay.
Big part of hip hop. We talking about 50 years. My Uncle Boogie, he's a DJ or a host. He got his own show on WTSX.
Okay, shout out
Power
to
104.9 in Indiana, in Kokomo, Indiana.
Dope.
So we was doing what we had to do. We were going back because him and my father grew up. They was doing the music thing. So he, you know, told me I got to come up with a song. Boy, you gonna put me in the studio. Put me in the studio with my producer Vern. Shout out Fern and Jazzy Lamel. They produced Jingling. It's just Jingling. It's not Jingling, baby.
Oh, it's Jingling.
It's just Jingling.
Jingling, yeah.
Not Jingling.
But you know,
Jingling.
yeah,
like,
Jingling.
You know, Jingling.
Okay, got it.
But yeah,
Got
so I
it.
called him and I said, I'm gonna sample LL Cool J. Well, first I found the beat. I always loved the song. I've always looked up to LL. Like that's always my motto. I found the beat. I found a beat, and you know, from there I told my uncle. I was like, "Yo, I want to do the song." He was like, "You sure?" He's like, "That's a tough song to do," and I did it. And literally, I did that last 2 years ago, and after I did that, my whole entire career changed.
Ow.
Literally, like.
Well, look, shout out to you on that. I love the performance. Like I said, you surprised me when you started busting the move. I said, okay then, like, yeah. I love that energy here on the show. And I thank you for, you know, coming and, you know, kicking it with me today and performing live for me, sharing that energy on the set. You got to meet the first two artists that we had on the show, the legends.
That was crazy.
You
like,
know,
I walked into something, I was like, oh.
right,
I was
so
like,
I hope y'all keep in touch.
Yes,
you know what I'm
definitely,
saying?
definitely.
And, you know, that's what it's about, networking, coming out, meeting new people, and, you know, sharing your love for music. We all are part of this hip-hop culture. We're all doing our thing. Make sure you follow my guests on social media. Make sure you follow GM. Tell them again what your social media is.
2LetterKing, number 2, LETTER King.
And say something quick to the people that support you.
Hey, I love y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna bring y'all so much art and so much creativity. 50. That's all I gotta say. It's
That's
50,
it.
man. 50. I'm part of it too, man, and I'm proud to be here, and I'm staying here, and I promise you, you will remember the name GM.
That's up.
Love y'all.
That's what's up, y'all. This is Debra Coco, your host of Just Give Me the Mic. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll see you next time. Good night.